And this year I wanted to transition into more online kind of business, straighten up marketing, get more leads, get more valuable leads, more lifetime value, and create a roadmap to 10x my business. That is my dream for this year. At the moment, I am doing 140, 145K a year. So maybe 100K per year could be an ambitious target. And here
And you,
I want to create a roadmap for that target, 10x target. What should I do? What are the right thing to do?
okay, so your objective is to create a roadmap to 10x your business
Yes,
this year. And your business basically is you have a secondary school tutoring service,
yes,
which is online. You use Zoom as well, right?
yeah. We use Zoom.
Any offline?
No, 100% online,
Okay,
but we are just
great.
using the online medium of Zoom, and we are, it's still mostly one-to-one tutoring or one-to-two small group tutoring.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So Prakash, Abdul, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, you just want to give a brief background, Abdul, your business,
Yeah,
what
I
you've been
went.
doing, your entrepreneurial journey,
Yeah,
and what
I've
you hope
been.
to accomplish.
Yeah, I went to school for George Brown for business admin finance. So I didn't get a job in that field. So I started exploring into the business side ideas. So I started doing a lot of, trades online, buy and sell. So my goal is to create the journey, connects the supplier with the customers. So I can just be the middle person, just communicate and just fulfill. So I get a lot of customers, but they don't trust when I say you can pay online or I can ship it to you. They say, no, I want to meet you locally. So they bought it like many times from me locally, but they don't want to do, you know, shipping method. So that's what I'm looking for to build. And also I do a
Would you,
little bit teaching, tutoring side also. It's the same problem with that. So I get people learning from me IT courses. Like, I'm teaching right nowadays data analyst course, also Python. The same thing, they'll start off and then halfway they'll just leave out. I don't know why. They paid for it, but they don't want to finish off the course.
Oh, wow. That's a good problem to have.
that's right. Abdul, don't complain.
Yes, yes.
They just like sending you money.
Hmm.
So Abdul, I know about the tutoring,
Yes,
Python and data analyst.
yeah. And I'm building a course right now, MLOps, so like machine learning and also that. So a lot of people ask me how to do past predictions and future predictions, how we get our finance on. So I'm also building that course.
Great. Sounds good. And
Yeah.
are you getting into AI agents and AI workers?
Yeah, so I'm creating like a roadmap for them, like how you do the ML, like automate flow. So people don't know. They say, oh, I don't have Python, I don't have Tableau. I tell them you can still do your through basic Python and through Excel, your automate flow.
Yes.
So
That
that's what
is
I'm
And there's a
building my.
lot.
that's hot,
Yes,
isn't it? Dev,
yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm
DevOps,
building my
DevOps
course.
used to be hot, and now it is MLOps, isn't it? Ops.
Yes, MLOps
Yeah.
machine learning. And
Yes.
also
Yes. And
Google
now,
Cloud is coming. Google Cloud. People want to know Google Cloud. So next one will be building the course around Google Cloud and Azure Cloud.
that's great. That
Yeah,
is great. So you're enjoying the teaching, aren't you? The
yeah. I'm
tutoring.
enjoying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm glad you jumped into it.
Yes,
I know you were hesitant, but I was so proud that you just jumped in and started doing it. So
yes,
proud of you
yes,
for doing that. So
yes,
basically, Abdul and Prakash, you guys are kind of doing the same thing, but only thing different niche.
He's
yes,
doing
yes.
high end. I'm doing low end.
Well, you're preparing the future generation. Prakash.
Okay, you can say that.
Yeah. And then you can send them to Abdul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Anthony and Hamel, I didn't see anything in the chat about your journey and so on. So I don't know if you guys want to write anything. Hamel, I think Hamel was in college, and he mentioned to me that he's not enjoying the journey. So he's going towards the entrepreneurial journey. And I'm not sure, Prakash, if you're hearing that, but I'm definitely hearing that from a lot of young students that they don't want to go to the college and university route. They would rather just jump in and just start working. Are you hearing that or no? Because of your
Uh,
niche?
in from my students, they are highly oriented towards university. And in the UK, we have something called degree apprenticeships. They are highly competitive. Uh, Many times I try to encourage students into going to degree apprenticeships instead of going to uni. They don't have to pay that heavy uh, tuition fee, and they don't have the student debt. They get paid, they get skilled, and many still think that uni is better because it has got broader application, or you can change many places. uh, and the aspiration for going to Cambridge and Oxford is still high. So I'm not hearing too much, but probably we are working on getting the top grades. And yeah,
That's great.
my son, he's doing year 11, and he is also thinking like he need to do uni. I don't know why. I try to encourage them. Look, you are 16 now. You can jump into business. Nah, you want to go to uni.
Because on school, we are seeing a lot of, I got to say, young guys who are
Yeah,
ditching the education system and who are saying, they're looking at influencers, they're seeing what influencers are doing and their own age, and they're thinking, why can't I do that? Why can't I just jump in?
exactly. Saida, what
You
I
know?
want to say was I'm not negating what you said. What I said is
Yeah.
somebody is thinking I need to go into business.
Yes.
That is exceptional.
Yes.
They are not normal.
Yes.
They are not
They're
average.
not.
They are they are the next the exceptional people like Jeff Bezos or uh,
Yes.
Bill Gates. They dropped out of college.
Yeah. Jobs, Steve Jobs also.
So if somebody is
Who else?
trying to
Henry
drop out,
Ford.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
Henry
somebody
Ford
is going to
drop out in
uni,
grade 6.
yeah,
Yeah.
they will
And
become an
who's,
employee.
yeah. And Edison, Thomas Edison. I think junior kindergarten or kindergarten, he was pulled out because he was told, his mother was told that he would amount to nothing. So, and what we're noticing too is because of AI and generative AI, the workplace is changing. And when I was talking to Abdul about AI worker and AI agents, this year we're going to see a lot of AI workers and AI agents taking over a lot of mundane type of jobs, a lot of jobs where it just requires a lot of information, where a typical human can't handle that. So we are, it's interesting to see that the future, and I do want to write an article on this, the future work. And what we're seeing is that the future work, the future worker will be a one person business. So we're going to see a lot of one person businesses, in this year and beyond. So instead of companies, we're going to see one person business or maybe like a 2-person business. Anyway, it's fascinating and interesting. So Hamel, I just gave a brief introduction. So college, doesn't like it, wants to jump into the entrepreneurial journey. And so I'm also working with Hamel. Anthony, I don't know too much about you, Anthony. So I'm going to guess that you want to jump into the online business and whatever you can learn, great. Okay, Anthony. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Share my screen. And I'm just going to hop into the community. Okay, tell me when you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Great. I made it bigger. Should I zoom in and make it bigger?
I think it's fine.
Prakash?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, actually it's at 90. I normally work on 90% or 80%. It's now
Okay.
100%. You guys could see it, no problem, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Great. So this is a community we created called Blank Napkin. The reason why we
Yeah.
created Blank Napkin is it's
Mhm.
an opportunity for people to scribble their ideas, which you all know that most people or a lot of businesses started off with a scribble on a napkin at a restaurant. Um, and that's why we decided to call it Blank Napkin. I got to give a shout out to Santiago. He's not here. Santiago and I I mean, he was very instrumental in helping me come up with the name. So there he is right there in the top post. All right, so I'm going to jump into the community and I want to thank all of you guys for joining me. You are part of the founding members. Again, a lot of them wanted to join, but they're working and or time zones. So, and you know, I told them I'm just going to record it and they can view it later. So I started building out Blank Napkin and I'm actually building it out in my second brain, which is Notion. So I'm using Notion to build it out. And once I build it out, Hamel actually helps me to put it on Blank Napkin. Um, I'm not sure about you guys, but when you're working and you're focusing on something, my advice is just focus on that one thing. So for me, I build it in my second brain, and then Hamel just takes it and puts it in Blank Napkin. So we got the start here. We've got the into the online business, and the 5-day challenge is what we're going to be starting today. Some of the subject matters I do want to talk about, and I do want to, create is how to steal like an artist, because people have this notion that in terms of business, they have to come up with a bright idea, but that is not the case. We don't come up with bright ideas. What we do is we piggyback on something else and we add our own secret sauce to make it our own. Okay. So Steal Like an Artist is going to be talking all about the concept of who was it? Sir Isaac Newton, who said, if I can see further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. And that's exactly what the situation is. Even Einstein will tell you the same thing. One of his secrets for creativity, and I'm going to butcher his quote up, but he said something to the effect of one of his secrets for creativity is hiding his source. So all we can know is that even Prakash, what you're doing right now, even Abdul, you guys, what you're doing right now, it has been done. It's just that you are doing it. So you are the secret sauce, and how you design it, implement it, execute it. It's your secret sauce. What I'm doing right now with you guys, it has been proven. This is not Sahita just made it up. No, no, no. This has been done. Okay. So it's just Sahita now leading you guys through this. Expert playbook is something I want to also discuss and document. And it is the ability for you to take your knowledge, package your knowledge, and then sell that knowledge. And the entrepreneurial mindset, as you probably all should know, in terms of success in business, if the mindset is not right, the business is not right. And what I like to tell my coaching clients, who are actually my clients and who hire me to coach them in terms of mindset, I would tell them, if you have a business problem, the business problem stems from a mindset issue. And we just got to recalibrate that mindset. Okay. And other things on the roadmap for us is AI mastery, cloning yourself so that you don't have to go through the scripting and the editing of the video and all that stuff. This, you just film yourself once and you clone, you create a bot. And it's pretty darn good. I mean, pretty close to perfect in terms of human perfection. Profit from school, yes, I'm going to be discussing that. Second brain, website funnels, and all of these things that I'm going to develop the day 4 and day 5. If you guys need it, I'm going to like bust my ass to get it done for you. So website and funnels, no problem. E-com, I think Abdul, this is going to be the area you are going to be interested in, is the e-com side. Tools and resources, health and fitness, inner circle, and one-on-one consultation. So basically that's the roadmap. So far, I've just got the start here, the online business, and the 5-day challenge done. And I'm just interspersing some lessons as I think about it and develop them. So let's jump into the 5-day challenge. And day one. Okay, day one. So day one, I'm just going to go through the concepts, and then I'm going to take a break and ask you guys for if you have any questions. Okay, guys, gals, there's no gals here. So all of you guys. So basically, the introduction for this 5-day challenge is for us to create a minimum viable business. And I'm going to read this quote out to you. The second we embrace change, we become open to the limitless possibilities of life. And that's by Maras. So basically, as much as we can open ourselves to the opportunities that avails us, that's when we can step into them. If we're constantly shutting down, having doubts and so on, we do not open ourselves to the art of opportunities. So why create a minimum viable product or a minimum viable business? And I like to call it a minimum viable business now, and then the product or the service later. So right now we're going to focus on the why create the minimum viable business. Now, in the past, most people would spend a lot of money, get the logo, get the website, or even before the website, just jump in and spend money in the brick and mortar side or in the online side. The website design, the logo, just everything. They would get it done first. And it would take weeks, not weeks, months, maybe even years trying to get this thing off the ground. And the longer they delay, the more money they spend, they lose, I guess, the enthusiasm. They lose the drive, and or somebody else did it before them. And a gentleman that just joined our group, Manos, he commented the same thing. He had an idea and he was ruminating and aiming for perfection, only to realize someone else started the idea. My take is, if someone else started the idea, it means it's a great idea. We do not want to start something where no one has stepped into. We want to know it's proven. We want to know that it's working. And again, we are not here to start something brand spanking new. We are here to see what's working, and we are here to, I'm not going to say copy, but we're here to learn and use it as inspiration. So basically, starting an online business can feel like you're assembling an IKEA furniture. And Prakash, you guys have IKEA over there, right? You know what I mean? It's a lot of little different pieces that you have to assemble.
On the back.
Oh, yeah. There's your IKEA. And a lot of people think that setting up a business, even when I consult with people one-on-one who want to start an online business, it's like they don't know what to do. It's like it's so much. It isn't. There are steps to follow. And if you can follow the steps, it becomes very easy, just like assembling furniture. So anyway, you got a million things to think about. It's like building a website, picking the perfect logo, getting the branding messages, the colors, the schemes, mapping out the marketing, hiring someone, the strategies, all of this stuff. It's can really debilitate someone. Then debating whether or not you're going to go on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and school and Udemy or whatever. It's just so much for people to think about. But I like to say that, we're here for just the truth, just the basics. And all that stuff like decorating the house, you don't need to do that. You just need to worry about pouring the foundation, building the structure. And I'm not going to advise you to put the cart before the horse. I'm going to advise you to do things in its logical steps. Okay? All right. So before we dive into the what of your business, we need to be crystal clear on the why we are doing it. And also the how becomes very important. And there's a great book by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I actually knew Benjamin Hardy before he became a doctor when he was doing his PhD. So these guys are great. I've learned from them. I gotta say they are one of my mentors. And the not who, not how is a excellent read if you want to grab that book. And I got to say that we need to be crystal clear on the why we are starting this business. And when the why is linked to something heartfelt, that's when I know you're going to do amazing. But if the if the why is not linked to something heartfelt, but the why is linked to money, we typically fall by the wayside. So, Prakash, since you're the only one with the video on, I'm going to ask you, do you have a strong why you started this business? You can unmute and share.
I'm I'm not mute at all. I'm ready. Can
Okay,
you
go
hear me?
for it.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Why? Yeah, I can hear you. Why did you start the tutoring business for high school students?
You know, I'm an engineer, and I used to work with companies for 20 years. I worked in industry with Goodyear tires, Goodyear Motorsport, Dunlop aircraft tires, and I am a tire technologist. And when I was getting to 50 years, I thought, now I am getting 50 years. If I'm not doing what I love to do, when am I going to do it? So that's how I jumped ship. And yeah, I used to tutor on the sides all the time, different age groups, and I love working with young children, young people, uh, getting them turn around, and that transformation always used to excite me. And it's my children used to go to a place called Explore Learning. My wife used to put them into Explore Learning from very young age, and I realized they were just going there, coming back, not getting any value, and we were paying. And that's how I started teaching my own children. And yeah, I started extending it to friends and families, and then I started enjoying it. It's just for passion. And as
That's great.
Kirby was saying, my business was pure passion without income skills. And I'm losing money running this, and still I'm running because of my passion. Just
Right.
just fun for me.
And also, you're helping the next generation in the
Yeah,
process.
that makes me kind of, yeah, excited talking to
Yeah,
them, and
yeah,
trying to teach them, how to learn and all the stuff. Yeah. And
great,
when they
great,
come back
great.
and tell me that, yo, you remember, you used to teach us this and that. Yeah. uh, it makes me happy.
Yes, yes. And how about you, Abdul? Why did you jump into tutoring, and why do you want to do the I guess drop shipping or e-com?
Oh, because I changed my career path due to COVID. I was in warehouse supervisor. One day we will go, one day we won't go. So I got into the data analyst, and then down the road when COVID was getting finished, and then a lot of people will message me on LinkedIn and ask me, can you give us a roadmap? When they read my profile, I come from the supervisor role, from the warehouse and the data analyst. They say nowadays there's not many jobs. And then one day I was thinking like, then I can create a roadmap for them. I can give them, because I have, you know, quite a few areas of experience, like, working online, doing tutoring, and then working in the IT field. So that's how I started teaching, tutoring, and also started doing like on the side, buy and sell. So then I created a course like data analyst plus the Python. I said you can come learn from me. In the meantime, I'll give you the roadmap. And if you do choose to continue with me, I'll continue teaching you, higher courses. Like, so that's why every year I try to bring like minimum 2 to 3 courses. So I create my own material and then I run it through students. I give them like first, course for free. And then from there, I give them like second one, third one, whatever they want to learn. So this is how I came to the online.
That's great. That is great. And again, I'm so proud that you're doing it.
Yes.
And you're the right person for it too. Okay, so basically we have
Oh,
to have that why.
Zaida.
Yes. Yes.
Himal has made a comment. Should I also jump in after Abdul?
Yes. Oh, my chat is off. Yeah, Hamel, you want to jump. Let me just get my chat open so I can see it. Yeah, go for it, Hamel.
We could not see your face, Himal.
Mel,
Hold up.
you.
Why isn't
I
it?
can.
Okay,
There
everybody.
you go.
Can you see
Hey,
me?
Hamel,
Yeah. Oh,
go for it.
yeah. So my why isn't like, first of all, you guys have a great why, and mine is kind of like, I don't know what I want, but I exactly know what I don't want, and I'm doing anything and everything I can to get away from that. Like, kind of like,
That's great.
yeah. So yeah.
You want to introduce yourself? We did not hear from you, your introduction.
I mean, Zahida kind of gave my introduction. Yeah, that's it. Like,
I think he wants to hear it from you, Hamel.
uh,
Go on, Himal. You are going to be the next CEO and the big person, shooting
yeah, when you
star.
guys were talking about that, I was kind of thinking in my mind, like, you guys are overshooting. Like,
We have
Hamel will be.
these
Go ahead, Prakash.
youngsters are full of energy and they are shooting for stars. Great
Yes,
wisdom.
yes. And a lot of them are doing really well on school.
Yeah.
They're really doing well. So gotta hand it to them. And Hamel is he's on his way too. Right, Hamel?
yeah, I mean, I'm somewhere, but not with them, people who are crushing it. So,
Anthony had to jump off. He said his sound quality is poor on his PC, so he's just going to catch the replay. All right, I'm going to close the chat. And Prakash, if anyone says anything, you can let me
Yeah,
know, because I may not look at it.
Focus.
So this book, who, not how. Just briefly, if I can mention, and I'm just going to close off on the why. If you don't have a why, you are starting your business, it's not going to be what you want. Like Prakash mentioned, he's doing engineering. He's been doing that. But then off the side, you find he's tutoring. So you could tell he's got a passion. You could tell he's got a bigger why for this tutoring. And the passion for the engineering, it was waning. Now, I'm going to mention something, and some of you may think that, okay, if I start something today, it means I've got to do it for the rest of my life. No. And I'm a perfect example of that. Every 9 years, I find I'm flipping, I'm switching, I'm changing.
Okay.
And be it, I started a business, got it running, and then 9 years later, sell it. Started something else, 9 years later, pivot, change. And I'm here to tell you guys, it's normal that we humans change every 9 years. And I don't think I've read anything about what I'm about to say, but it's something I connected. If the human body goes through changes every 7 to 9 years, that is, we get a new kidney, we get new eyes, we get new nose, we get new skin, we get new whatever. But there are few things in the human body that we don't get new. and I forgot what they are, but for the most part of the human body, it undergoes 100% change, 100% change within 7 to 9 years. So if the human body goes through 7 to 9 year, change, like generating a new whatever, why don't our minds change every 7 to 9 years? And yes, it does. It changes every 7 to 9 years. So it's normal. It's normal, folks, for us to do that. But the why and our passion will drive us. Now, there's a book from Dan Kennedy and Dr. Benjamin Hardy, Who, Not How. Most people, when they're starting a business, they think about, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How do I get the logo? What's my color? Where should I locate? Should it be physical? Should it be digital? What social media should I be on? Should I be on all of them? Should I be one on them? And they're constantly just overwhelming themselves thinking about the hows, when in fact, this book talks about skip the how. Just get the dream, have your why, and all you need to do is to skip the how and ask who. So who, not how. Ask who. That is, who can help me? So if you want to do something and you just don't know how to, like I'll take Hamel for an example. Hamel knew he didn't want the education system. Hamel knew he wanted an alternative that perhaps his parents didn't teach him or didn't do, or his circle of influence, his primary circle of influence, didn't understand online business. So Hamel actually went. So he knew why. He knew that I'm not going to ask the hows. Because he was spinning his wheels, learning every damn thing from every damn mentor. And then he finally decided, no, I'm just going to find the people. I'm going to ask the who question. Who can teach me this? Who can steer me in this direction? Who? So he's going through the who. And I must say that is a smarter strategy. Instead of doing it all on your own, which we're never going to do it all on our own. Let's be honest. Find out the person, the who can help us. So anyway, I can't help but stress it's a great book. So I'm just going to move down. And anyway, I just again, trust me, no one dreams about being shackled to a business they can't stand. And I've heard that so many times. So many people study, graduate, get the job, hate it for decades. And one of my close friends, who's a doctor, hated it. And she told me she did it because her mother wanted to. Eventually, she went into psychotherapy, which she loved. So trust me, when you're doing something to please someone, ain't gonna work. You have to do something with a big why. And when you have something with a big why, don't worry about the hows. Don't worry about the details. Just ask who can help, who can steer me in the right direction. And when Abdul wanted to go into Amazon, Abdul reached out and Abdul said, hey, this is what I want to do. And we had some back and forth as to how. So basically, folks, I'm here to tell you, try not to do everything on your own. Try to find that person or people or mentors who will steer you in the right direction. So I just want to tell you that I've been lucky in my entrepreneurial journey. I've always followed my passion for tech, always loved change, and always at the forefront of development. And Abdul, you and I have had some history with buy and sell and so on.
Yes,
So
yes, we did.
we know what it's like to be at the forefront of the game. You clean up, and you clean up
Yes.
big time.
Mhm.
So anyway, this challenge, we're going to cut the noise out, and we're just going to uncover your minimum viable business and the simplest and the smartest version of your business. And that's exactly what the MVP is. It's the simplest version of your business idea, and it aligns with your passion, your skills, and your priorities. So think of this as the foundation of your entrepreneurial house. We're building a foundation. We're not decorating the house yet. We're just building the foundation. And once we've built that, You can start adding all the fancy bells and whistles. So are you ready to dive in? And I'm hoping by the end of this challenge, you will know exactly what kind of business you want to start. Although Prakash, you've started. Abdul, you have an idea. You've started as well. And Hamel, I think you know what you're going after. GO, correct?
Yeah.
So let's do this then. So I want you guys to just grab a pen, grab a notebook, because I do have some worksheets. But Prakash did ask if there's any homework, and I was debating whether or not to send a worksheet in advance for everyone to print out. And then I thought, no, this is my first group with you guys. I am not going to do any prep work. I am actually going to go with the flow and go with what you guys want. So sorry for that, Prakash. I didn't send you any homework, any work in advance, but let's do it. So we're going to talk about why do I want to start this business? What's driving you? Does my business align with my ideal self, my core values, my long-term goals? And again, when we talk about long-term goals, I know people try to say, you know, when you're 80 or when you're 85 or whatever, what do you want to look back and remember? I'm going to tell you, no. If this body changes 7 to 9 years, we are going to change every 7 to 9 years. And if you look back at your history, 7 to 9 years is when you wanted to change. Be it you change or you just stuck with it. And sticking with it is no way to live life. We have to change as the body changes. So I'm genuinely passionate about this idea, about the blank napkin idea, and how you can just write down what you want and take it to the next level. So anyway, you also have to realize that your idea is to play on your strength, not your lesser strength. And I learned this lesson from one of my mentors. When he said to me, Zahida, we are not meant to be well-rounded. We are not a circle. We are not meant to be well-rounded. We are taught that. We are taught that you got to be good in this, 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 and this. No, that's not who we are. And he said to me, we are meant to be oblong, like an egg. Our greatest strength is at the end, and our lesser strength is at the top and the bottom. So you go with your greatest strength and stretch it as far as you can go. So the egg concept. And the top and the bottom, your lesser strength, and I'm not going to call it weaknesses. I'm actually going to say your lesser strength. Your lesser strength is where you say, who can do it for me? Okay. So for instance, I am not an accountant. I do not like accounting. I do not like accounting and finance. And I remember when I took the course, accounting and finance, I sat at the back of the lecture hall with a friend and we talked for the entire time. And I only studied enough to get a C to pass that exam. I had no interest in it. So basically, this concept of how we were taught that you have to be well-rounded, no, we don't. We have to be oblong. You take your skills and you go to it with its max. So if you are not good at selling, you are not good with phone, if you are not good at ABC, it's not you. Are you a failure? No, you have other skills that you're good at. And I like to call it the front end, back end concept. And Abdul is from the programming side, so he knows about the front end, back end, the UI versus the code, etc. So the front end is the person who faces the public. And the back end is the person who gets all the processes, the operations, and everything working. So some of us are great at front end. We are great with the public. We are great on the phone. We are great selling people. We just have that extroversion type of personality. And other people may be your typical introvert, and they're more what we call back end. So we got the BE, the back end, and the FE, the front end. And please don't think that you have to be all. You don't have to be all. Okay? You can play on your strength. If your strength is front, do the front. If your strength is back, do the back. Now, I am going to say they are that 3% who can do both, who can do the front and the back. But those are rare people who can be the technical and the creatives at the same time. I call them the whole brain person. Okay? And we don't have to be the whole brain person. Anyway, I'm going to assume that with this minimum viable business, once we're finished with day one, you guys are going to have a concept. However, Prakash, well, all three of you basically, you're a step ahead because you know what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to jump into number one, minimum viable business idea, and how to define our values and goals. So, guys, I know the three of you have already done this, but for the purpose of this video and capturing this video training, there are going to be some people who have not started it. So I'm just going to go through the process. And at the end of this, you guys tell me if you want to do the exercise or we talk about it. Okay? Because I really do want to make this interactive and have you guys share what you're doing. So defining your minimum values, defining your values and your goals. And before we dive into all the strategies and the tactics to bring your business idea to life, let's just turn our attention to the why we want to do this. We briefly discussed it. Why do you want to start an online business? Maybe it's because you don't want to answer anyone. You don't want to have a boss. And yes, there are some people who will tell you that they don't want to answer to a boss and to a 9-to-5 job. And I trust all of you guys are in this boat. And also, you don't want to be on someone else's clock, which we just discussed. I certainly don't want to be on anybody's clock. And I'll tell you, freedom is when you do your own stuff. But if you're under the spotlight of someone else, you are not free. I call it jail. You are jailed. And as a matter of fact, when I see people going to work and working in a cubicle, I call those cubicle open jail concepts. Anyway, that's just how I see it. I used to work for the man, for the company, the big company, until I realized in my mid-20s, I want to work faster. I want to go faster. I want to do new things. And with big companies, it's hard to change. They're stuck in their ways. And when I realized my mind just wanted to go fast, that's when I realized, and I was actually coached by a few people who've said to me, you need to start your own business, because I was just moving so fast. And I reached an executive salary in my mid-20s. And my accountant said, you need to go on your own because you don't have places we can hide your money. And anyway, that really pushed me into doing my own business. The third thing that I wrote about is you might be driven by a desire to make a difference in this world. And Prakash, I heard that from you too, to help the next generation. So when we have that desire to make a difference in this world, when we have that calling, we have to answer to that calling. And often enough, I hear people as young as teens, and all the way up to whatever age you want to put them at, 50, 60, 70, whatever, they have a calling. And if they don't answer that calling, they are not going to feel fulfilled. So that's where we realize when we have that calling, we have to jump into it. And just a personal background on myself, some of you already know me. I started my business because my boss's partner advised me to start my own technical training company. Since my boss offered me more money, he said, don't take more money unless it's profit sharing. And he advised me to start my own. So his partner, Victor, he was my boss, and he came and he offered me more money, but no profit sharing in a business that I started for him. It was a technical training business. My accountant also told me at age 26, my income bracket was too high and to have any tax write-offs. So he also told me that I'm overskilled for the work that I'm doing for the company, and he encouraged me to start my own business. When I shared all of this with my mother, what the two guys advised me, my mother asked me, what do you need to start your own technical training business? I told her, and I said, I need a downtown Toronto location. Here's how much it's going to charge, blah, blah, blah. And to secure a lease. And she said, do it. And sometimes that's all we need in our life, is for someone to believe in us. And I hope to be that person to help you. Hamel, I hope to be that person to, tell you to do it. And I think I have. Abdul, Prakash, you're doing it already. So some of these reasons might resonate with you. And it's critical that we ensure that the reasons align with your values and goals, your big why. Because every year, countless of people start business for the wrong reasons. And most of those businesses don't even make it. Even worse, some succeed, but leave the owners miserable. I call it building a job, not a business. You build a job. And just to show you, there's some stats. The first year business, about 20% fail. In the 5th year, about 50% of new businesses fail. In their 10th year, about 65% of businesses fail. And again, doing it for the wrong reasons. We must have a why, but we must also see that there's a market to do that business. Okay. So I'm not going to say 100% go on passion. I'm going to say you go with the passion, but you also have to use your logic and you also have to do your research to make sure there's a business idea already executed. Okay, so for instance, if your reason is to be your own boss, is it because you're running from a toxic boss? Or because you're running toward the freedom to create meaningful work? And we must be honest with ourselves. If it's making money and more money, is it about fueling materialistic lifestyle or providing stability and opportunity for the family and employees? So can you see the difference? Can you see the difference in when we want to do something? Are we doing it because we're running away? Or are we doing it because we're running toward? Or are we doing it so that we can buy more toys? Or are we doing it to help other people? And there's a big difference in how we approach this business. Whenever it's about self, whenever it's about ego, satiating our own ego, the materialism, the running away, the business will fail somewhere along the line. The passion will fail somewhere along the line. Okay. Prakash, your friend's name is that wants to join?
His name was Dylan.
Dylan? I have a Zakira who just joined. Zakira, welcome. We did the introduction just to get you up to speed. And we're just going through something called minimum viable business idea. So we're just going through the background. There will be a replay. So hopefully you will catch up. Anyway, welcome. All right. So basically we need to, just continuing on, clarify through a few vision exercises. So we're going to do some vision exercises. Shouldn't be long. And this guy by the name of Pat Flynn did a wonderful job. Will it fly? Will the business idea that we scribbled down our blank napkin, will it fly? And there's some tests that we go through to see if our business idea will fly. And that's why I call this minimum viable business. We don't want to spend a lot of time and a lot of money developing something that won't fly. We want to make sure what we're about to do will fly. And we call it minimum viable business. So here's an exercise, and I am going to give credit to Pat Flynn. It's from his book. I recreated the exercise. I changed it up a bit to suit our needs, and it's a PDF which can be downloaded, and or since you guys all have a pen and a paper, you can literally just do it on a pen and paper. Or if you have a printer nearby, you can print it. You can download it and you can print it, or just use your trusty notepad. So I'm going to zoom in. Can you guys see it? Or do I have to make it bigger? Tell me if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. It's good.
Perfect. I just made it. Oops. Sorry, guys. I just made it a bit bigger. Okay. If we can, first of all, for the minimum viable business idea, and Zakir, if you're joining us, this is going to be interactive. We're going to have some worksheets. So if you can grab a pad, a paper, and a pen, that'll be fantastic. And so step number one, we're going to choose 4 life areas that are important to you. And I've done this already, and I constantly check it. Family is number 1. And I will always tell people family should be your number 1. If anyone is apologizing that they can't make it to a meeting or anything like that, I always find myself messaging them in the book of life. Family is the first chapter, and I will always put family first. I know some of you are probably thinking, I have, shit for family. They don't give me support or whatever, but I'm going to tell you, family, friends should be your first. Career and or entrepreneurialism, next. Sorry, I'm not going to say next. It's on the list. Your well-being and your contribution. So these are examples of categories that you want to divide your life into. Again, it could be family, it could be career, it could be health and wellness. I value health and wellness. Number 1, that's my top. And family is also, both of them are equal. But if you have to ask me which one is number 1, I have to tell you my health is number 1. Okay? My family is number 2. My career or entrepreneurialism, my business, is number 3. Okay? In all that I do in all 3 of these areas, contribution stands on all of them. Okay? So I see my contribution in all 3 of these areas, but some people may want to bucket it in different categories, and that's totally fine. Now, some of you may say, but Zahidi, you said family should be first. How come you're putting health and wellness first? The reason why I do that is if I'm not healthy, I can't help my family. If I'm not healthy, I can't contribute. If I'm not healthy, I can't execute and do a business. So for me, I bucket wellness and health first. You might be different because we're all at different stages of our lives. Some of us are starting, some of us are in the middle, some of us are not. We're somewhere, satisfied with what we've built so far. So if I can ask you guys all just to take, a few minutes, let's say 5 minutes tops, and just write down on a piece of paper, label it whatever you want to label it, and just imagine your life 5 years from now, where you see that bucket area, and evaluate your description and consider the likelihood of starting a new business by helping you achieve these goals. So basically, I'm calling it a lifestyle business. If we can understand your values and your goals, and we can just throw it out there, then we'll be able to design a business that ensures that our values and goals are met. Because a lot of people say that I want to start a business to help my family, but they don't put the family first. Okay? So before we start a business, we must understand what our values and goals are. And then when we're creating that MVB, we're going to make sure that it aligns with our values and goals. So is it okay if I give you guys like 5 minutes and I'm going to go grab a tea or something, and just, even if you want to type it out in the chat, that's totally cool with me. Just think about the areas, and it doesn't have to be 4, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 5, whatever you want. 5 minutes, guys, and I'll be back. I'm also going to go on mute. All right, guys, that was 5 minutes. Okay. Anyone want to share anything?
Can I go?
Prakash, go.
Okay. So I don't know whether I have done it right. I have put health. I put family first, but then when you said health is the number one, I crossed mine, and yeah, I realized health is the most important one. I crossed it and put health as quadrant number one, and I would love to go at least 3 days a week into gym, which is not happening, and I am finding I am regularly irregular to gym, not going to gym, and it's affecting me, my mobility, and yeah, uh, muscles are getting stiff, and I can feel that I am rusting, and I am running on keto because I am not doing much exercise. I think if I eat too much, I'll become too big. If I work out properly in the gym and become flexible, I should be able to manage a better diet. So that is a red for me at the moment. 3 days a week, I don't have time. I'm struggling. Every day I have blocked my calendar. 12 to 2, I should go to gym, but almost every day I cancel it. And second was family, time with family. Before, when I was an employee, I had plenty of time to spend with my family. We used to go out. We could do many things. And when I started doing this, zero time. I get, I start, some days I lose sleep around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I start doing something, and I start with a plan. I will take a siesta and relax, but then it never happens and goes till 11, and then that sleep debt is too much, and no time with family, and that is another red thing. It's not going to happen. It's not happening at the moment. Personal time, family time, not happening. I thought I will have freedom, but it just happened the opposite way. No, no time, no freedom. Yes, you are the boss, but nah, it's not happening. And I when I started off, I thought I should be able to support my children in their uni days, and yeah, that will happen. That is happening at the moment as well. That is on the way. It's and for business, I was hoping to systematize the business. You know, I used to be a process engineer and lots of stuff, creating standard operating procedures and all sort of stuff for manufacturing processes. But in the service, I'm struggling to put anything. HR, or managing the staff is a nightmare, and I will be struggling to cover the people asking for, yeah, can I have a holiday today, tomorrow? Suddenly I'm stuck in traffic, all sort of stuff. That is causing me a lot of time systematizing, and I'm having to jump into business every now and then. And on the hindsight, I'm thinking, like, getting too many people was a wrong idea. I'm thinking, if I could, in the bright new life, more AI agents or automation in the business, that would be an avenue I should consider. And as for contributions, I I should be doing more, or on a regular basis, advice video for people join this country about the education system. I talk to people almost every day. I should create some videos and post it somewhere so that people can benefit. Again, I don't have time. My productivity is appalling. Basically, I work on the urgent quadrant, not important quadrant, and that I don't know how to get out from the hamster wheel. That's where I am.
Hopefully we'll help you get off the hamster wheel.
So should I take a screenshot and post it in the?
Sure, that would be great. Actually, if you could do me a favor, if you could create a post,
Yeah,
and just call it day one,
day
and just
one.
post it in
And
there,
then
that would be great.
I will link it with. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
I shall.
Now, Prakash, thank you for being honest.
I think you should link it with the post as well. At the bottom of the post, you can pin it to the post.
Yes, I will do that. Prakash, thanks for being honest. And you know where you're falling down.
Yeah.
It's a matter of being conscious that now I've got, when I was working, when I had a career, I had time for the family. Now that I started my business, I don't have time for the family. So sure, it could be overwhelming jumping into the new business. It could be overwhelming because you're doing everything. And maybe delegation. We have to start looking at delegation, because let's face it, some of us may not want to manage people. We may not want to do that, and that's okay. Get someone else to do it. Get someone else perhaps who's senior within the company, or who has the skills, who can do it. And sometimes that's all it needs is when Prakash said he didn't have time, we have time. We have time. We all have the same number of time. It's how we prioritize our time, and it's how we bucket our time. So when we prioritize our time, we should be entering it into the schedule. Now, I know a lot of people are micromanaging and they enter every hour what they're doing. My concept is just create a bucket. In the morning, this is what I'm doing. In the afternoon, this is what I'm doing. Perhaps after dinner, I'm with the family. Put it in the schedule so you can literally see. So all the things that you value in your given day, you should be able to put it in your schedule. And initially, you're going to fall down. You're not going to follow it. But as you put it in the schedule and see that family time is after dinner, I mean, for me, it's after dinner. So after dinner for me is family time, and weekends. So I isolate those for family time for me. Okay. So for you, it might be family time, might be breakfast, or whenever you guys get together. But please, by all means, put it in your schedule. If you don't put it in your schedule, you won't do it. You have to be consciously aware. And we can be consciously aware, but we need the cues. And that's why I say put it in the schedule as best as you possibly can. And it's all the reason why I like doing these exercises is when we see, so it's all in the mind. And when we throw it out on paper and we see it, we become aware. And only when we become aware, that's when we can make the change. Other than that, we won't make the change. Okay, so thank you, Prakash. Abdul?
Yeah. So for me, number one will be well-being. So I choose well-being because you need your health first. So you have to try. So how I do it, being as a Muslim, I wake up for Fajr. I try to do everything early in the morning. So sometimes if I get a chance, I go early to the gym. So this is my routine. Try to go twice to the gym. If I cannot go to the gym, then I just do morning walk around the home or around, my block. That's how I do it. And then summer comes, then I'm riding my bicycle. And then number two, I put a family. Family time is important. You have to schedule your time around the family, right? It could be your brother, sister, or your parents, or your kids. You have to give them time because when you're getting older, they're seeing you, because I noticed, after COVID, we need to give a family time, because it's like this. I see it. It's like they're looking up to you as a role model, right? So the age doesn't matter anything, but you always have to be like a role model, right? So you have to go above and beyond and do more things, and they can learn from you. And then number three, I put a contribution. Why I put this? Because community also needs to see it, right? So you have to give it back to the community. So at COVID time, after COVID, I came with the idea of volunteering food bank. So I started going to a Muslim food bank, giving my valuable time to a Muslim food bank, and then I joined with the Muslim welfare. I was there, and then I went to the IRC, the Islamic Relief, and then I recently completed one trip with them going to Bosnia. So giving time back to the community, I created my group. So because a lot of students, they come to me, they ask me from LinkedIn, from where, can you give us a roadmap, or can you give us a resource where can we go? Like how we can do. So they're like, I see them like as a dungeon. They have nowhere to go. They're looking for guidance. That's why I created a Muslim group on WhatsApp. So where we can, Muslim community can gather up together and do fun activities. And then that's leading to your business also. So you're doing all three, and then leading them to the business. Okay, you're looking for a job, you can network here. You're looking for a business idea, you can do it like this. So that the group is coming together, and somewhere you're connecting, and somewhere you're going above and beyond, and you're looking at a role model. And then lastly, related to business, I created my own channel, YouTube channel. So the same way I give them key messages, positive messages, how to lead the life, how to do different activities. Sometimes people don't know how to do it. They just need a pat on the back. Like, okay, this is how I do it. This is how I will go. So I tell them, not look at it every day. Do your schedule on Sunday night. So from Sunday to Saturday, or I mean Sunday to next Sunday, what you're gonna do, and then every day you do journal. You do journal. How was my day went? And how can I improve my next day? So this is how I do it, and this is the way I want to lead the community, lead my family, and lead my business ideas.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I think you've nailed it, man.
Yeah.
And my hat's off to you. That's great.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Prakash, you had mentioned that you should be sharing a bit more wisdom with new, new immigrants, and how they can, navigate the education system in the UK. Do it, man, do it, because you're going to be helping. I like to look at it as helping the next generation, leaving a legacy. And Abdul, I'm glad you're doing that. I really am. You've got your community, the Muslim community. Assalamu alaikum, by the way.
Wa alaikum salam.
I know fasting is starting soon. So that's fabulous to hear. That is. Proud of you, man. Proud of you. And this is why it's important. When we know what the values and the goals are for our lives, we can create the business to suit that. If we create the business that doesn't align with our values and goals, we are going to be stressed. And Prakash, I know you mentioned earlier on, you're not valuing or putting exercise first and foremost. This body is not meant to sit more than 90 minutes. That's it. That's tops, folks. Once I got an egg timer here, and I also have timers that goes on that buzz. And I also have a timer on my watch every 15 minutes. If I don't move, my watch starts buzzing like crazy. And I get up and I have a trampoline and I do some jumping jacks on a trampoline, and I kid you not, I have a mini trampoline. So I'm bouncing, I'm moving. If you don't move that body, and trust me, I've tried it, where I'm in the zone and I will go for 4 hours, especially when I'm creating content. I can go for 4, 5, 6 hours. And when I get up, it's like, oh my God, I'm stiff. Never will I do that again. So constantly move. 19 minutes is it. And I kid you not, I have an egg timer right on my desk, an hour. So I set it for like 15 minutes and then it buzzed. Now, some of you may think that if I'm in a zone, I should keep going. Well, I'll tell you something. There's a little secret. when you take a break from what you're doing, your mind, especially your prefrontal cortex, is able to create the cement, create the neural pathways for that knowledge. So you are actually consolidating that knowledge and creating connections. It is the best thing you can do. And you, I'm sure you all have heard, people's ideas come when when they're not working on that project or that thing. Their ideas come when you're in the shower or taking a walk or playing with their kids or doing something totally different. So please don't delude yourself by thinking, I got to keep going hours and hours and hours. Even students, I tell this to students, don't think you got to study for hours and hours and hours. That is the worst thing you can do for your brain. 90 minutes tops, take a break. Again, I got a trampoline and I kid you not, I could show it to you. I jump. And I also have a twister. I twist. Or I plug in and I do a dance. I love dancing. So whatever it is for you, do it, because this body, if you don't keep it moving, it's going to go. It's going to be hard. And when the body goes, we know the mind is going. Okay. So Abdul, I love what you're doing. You've got your morning routine and it sounds like contribution is keeping you going. And I'll tell you, when people tell me they're not happy, first thing I ask is, what are you grateful for? And who are you giving to? Who are you contributing to? Contribution to me is, it's like the secret sauce of happiness. And I wish more people will understand that to contribute, to give for free, we are meant to do. Hamel had his hands raised. Hamel, did you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
next?
I had a question. Did you say 90 minutes?
Yeah, 90 minutes tops. If you're working on something, there's something called the law of diminishing returns. You guys know
Yeah,
about it, right? Prakash, you know about it. Abdul, you
yeah,
know about it. Yeah, the law, and Hamel, you know about it. The laws of diminishing
yeah.
returns. If you are taxing this brain longer than 90 minutes and don't give it a break, you go into diminishing returns. Okay, you're not going to be as fluid as you can. You might think, yes, I am. I'm in the zone. I can go. But the zone only lasts for so long. And the reason why we have to protect this brain of ours is because it's a memory, sorry, it's a, what can I say, an energy hog. That's why a lot of people don't like thinking, because this brain takes 20% of our energy. So in a day, if you can imagine body and brain, this here takes 20%. So that's why we need to give it its break. And why do we give it its break? Body also needs it. Okay. And mind controls body. So if anything, from all I've read and all my research, I will tell you guys, I go for 50 minutes. Okay. But 90 minutes, if I'm in a zone, is my tops. And I will get up and I will jump on a trampoline or do something. Now, obviously, if you're a teenager or a little child, it's different. Your mitochondria health is different than when you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on. So to protect the health of the mitochondria, it needs energy, it needs oxygen, it needs movement. So that's probably one of the best advice I can give you guys. Please don't try to sit on your ass too long. And yeah, it gets bigger when we do. So Hamel, yeah, 90 minutes tops is what I would recommend. Abdul, yeah, that's funny. All right, and we have, I may pronounce this wrong, but Zachary? Is it Zachary?
Zachariah.
Zachariah. Okay, Zachariah. No problem. Zachariah said, is Zachariah male, female? Help me.
I bet it's male.
Male, Zachariah.
Zachariah. Face.
Okay. Zachariah, you don't have to. It's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with. Zachariah puts puts well-being first, and then family, and lastly business. Perfect. I think, you know what, all of us are on the same path. We didn't hear from Hamel though. So
I mean,
all of
for
us
me,
are
it's
roughly.
work.
Sorry, for you, Hamel, it's.
It's the work.
So for quadrant 1 for Hamel is work. Okay. Quadrant
And the
2?
other ones are empty.
Sorry?
The other ones are empty. I didn't put anything.
Okay. Now, let's try to understand Hamel. He's young. Okay? Work and setting a vision for his future is more important than family. And I'm not going to question that because he's at a different stage of his life. I'm just going to say, I respect that. I respect that work is number one. Again, he's young. I don't know if you want me to tell everyone your age, but he's young.
Sure, you can
and
go ahead. Fine.
Okay, he's going to be 21 this year, right, Hamel?
Even something like that. Yeah, 21 or
Yeah,
22
like,
probably. So I forgot. Like, I don't keep
let's
track
say
of
he's,
it.
let's say 22. And you know what? I like what you just said. You don't keep track of your age because I actually tell people I have transcended man-made linear time. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the linear time. I am from the quantum level of timing where everything is happening simultaneously. And that's for another discussion. So Hamel, you're going to be roughly around 20. Anyway, you're young. You're at the beginning stage where you should be in college. But Hamel says, ditch to college. I'm not really learning that much that I couldn't learn from other people, from YouTube. And Hamel is not the only one I'm hearing this from. I'm hearing this from a lot of younger guys. They're just ditching that route. However, Prakash, you have the group that's not ditching it, that's moving towards. So two different groups. So can we all understand and respect that for Hamel, work is number one? Okay, because he's still young, he's still family bound and so on. So work and his future is number one. And I think we've got everyone's. So Hamel, at a different stage of your life, perhaps let's say if you have kids, married with kids, your quadrant, what you put in quadrant one will change. For now, totally respect
It might. I don't know.
We shall see. When you have kids and married, come talk to me. All right, guys.
I'm not sure if I will, if I even will. So yeah.
Okay.
It's up for debate.
It's not what can I say? It's not your primary concern at this stage of your life, correct?
Yeah. And I don't know if I will have kids or not. If I want to or not. Kinda.
Interesting. I am not going to ask you for I'm not going to ask you for an answer because you're going to be 22. Perhaps later you might change. And that's okay. Remember what I said initially? I noticed from 7 to 9 years, we humans change.
Exactly.
We go through
Exactly.
an evolving process. And again, if you look at your history, Prakash, you've got kids, right? Abdul, you've got kids.
I wanted to be. I started my life as a monk. I did not want to marry, and that is the only regret I have. I did not pursue as a monk. I started out, but then dropped, and that there was a time, yeah, like uh, misogynist time was there with me, so I can resonate with him.
Yes, yes. So, Hamel, that's okay.
It
We
changes.
accept the work being first, but please have an open mind that you will change and accept it. And what I like to tell, especially the girls, when you're in your teens, there's a certain perfume you like. When you're in your 20s, there's another scent that you like. And as you go into your decades, your sense of smell changes. Your sense of what you liked when you were a teenager versus today changes. And you know what? That's okay. I rather people realize that a growth mindset is where we want to be, not a fixed. So Hamel, yes, you might change, or perhaps no, you may not want a family. We shall see. We're just going to keep ourselves open. All right, so that's the exercise on the minimum viable business number one, which is values and goals. And let's just go now to the second one. And the second one for us to start designing our minimum viable business is the passion. And again, some of you may say, I don't have any passion. Some of you may say, I just want to make money. And again, it depends on the stage of life that we're at. So I'm just going to run through this. Passion, it's been a buzzword, as you know, for like decades, a long time. And if you study the trend of passion, you will see in Google when this word starts popping up. So if you've ever spent 5 minutes on social media, you probably heard countless business guru shouting, follow your passion. And I will tend to agree with that. And I will tend to go the other way. So you're going to find that I'm straddling two different side of passion. And yeah, depending on who I'm speaking to, I find myself saying, listen to your heart, follow your passion, with the caveat of learn to turn your passions into profit. And hey, in the ideal world, your business would align perfectly with your passion, but we're not living in a never, never land or Tinkerbell land. It's different now. So let's just ground ourselves into reality and let's look at the truth about what this thing called passion is all about. And the truth is, passion alone won't build a business. And sometimes people will take their hobbies, say it's their passion, start monetizing it, and will hate it. And there's studies that have shown that when you take a hobby and you turn and you monetize that hobby, eventually you dislike it. So there is a hobby and a passion that we may have but don't want to monetize. And or there's a passion where we know it could be a business and we want to monetize it. And I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm going to say be with this minimum viable business, let's make sure your passion aligns with a business idea that you can monetize on. So the truth is, again, passion alone won't build a business. Passion is actually fuel. To me, it's like the dopamine that will keep me going. And it just keeps us motivated. It keeps us resilient through tough times. And that's why having the why will also help us be resilient through tough times. But it's definitely not the engine. So passions are needed, but then again, so is a good business idea. And you may have your passion, but without customers who are willing to pay for your passion, it's a hobby. As I said earlier, it's not really a business. So that said, with a little creativity, passion can often be transformed into a thriving business if we do it right. Let's take an example. Let's say you're obsessed with cooking spicy Indian food. You're not going to get paid for just cooking and eating your signature meals. I know. It's tragic, but you could turn that passion into a business by opening an Indian restaurant with a little fusion twist. Or you can even teach online cooking healthy Indian food, for instance, on a YouTube channel or a private group. So there is a way for us to take what we love to do and to turn it into a business. Okay. And again, if something is your hobby and you enjoy it, sometimes you may find that making money will negate that hobby. So the key in finding your way to monetize what you love without losing any sight of profitability is to learn how to profit from your passion. And Chris, the author of $100 Startup, breaks it down perfectly. And I link to the book here. So for any business to succeed, we need three things. We need a product or a service to sell. We need customers who are willing to pay for it, or we call it a hungry audience, and a way for them to pay you. So a way for you to monetize. Online, we know it's easy. There's so many payment processing. If you're on school, it also links your payment processing, which is, I think, Stripe they're using. So if your passion intersects with a solid business idea that checks off all the boxes, you're onto something great. And here's a quick exercise that I want you guys to do. Brainstorm your passion. let's uncover your passion and where it might lead to a good business. And I know some of you already have the idea, but let's just do 3 minutes for this one. So take a blank piece of paper. I'm going to zoom in onto this. I know I said 10 minutes, but some of you already have your business and it should be faster. And some of you may not have a passion, like Hamel, he just wants to work. And his number one priority is work. So it may not come with a passion, and that's totally cool. So let's just take 3 minutes and brainstorm a list of things that you're passionate about. Go super fast. Just allow your brain just to dump everything that you're passionate about. If it's chess, if it's cooking, if it's time with the family, if it's go-karting, whatever the heck it is. Take 3 minutes. I'm going to go on mute. All right, guys, it's been about maybe 5 minutes. Maybe we can do this quickly. Who wants to go first? Oh, I should read. Hey, can I just call you Zach? That's what I'm known as well. ZAK is my initials. Said that my passion is teaching others because I didn't have a good teacher. So I started an online business for tutoring math and science, but I don't know how to scale it or market it more, I guess, to get more clients. Also, I want to be able to create a good business model so the business can be the main source of my income. Also, it is sustainable and maintainable. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Abdul, you want to go next?
Yeah, I can go next. So my passion is just creating a well-being, balanced life, and also doing work online, so where we can create both and also spend time with the family. So that's my passion.
That's great. And your community, I know you're passionate about your community. I can
Yes,
get
yes,
that.
yes,
The Islamic
yes,
community.
yes, yes.
Great, great, great. Always good to have something you're passionate about. Prakash, you want to go?
Okay. I'm passionate about teaching chemistry and maths to secondary school students. Love learning new stuff and knowledge just for the sake of learning and sharing with others. Enjoys intellectual conversations. And of course, I love cooking. I make
Sorry,
some.
you love to. I missed the last
I,
one. You love
I
to.
love cooking, and my wife is my biggest fan. I cook. I, I I make beautiful omelets. My wife likes, and I can cook fish that she loves. But that's not a
You,
business.
you're making us hungry.
Ah, yeah. I have some special recipes. I keep it secret. I don't give it to anybody.
Well, maybe one day you're gonna have to share it with me.
Or in cooking, no. Okay.
I omelets, love it, but
Oh,
for me, it's
I
got to be spicy.
I just watch how to make omelets in YouTube. That's my favorite pastime. How to make different types of omelets.
I'm also an omelet fan.
Is it?
One I do is called an omelet wrap. So you put
Okay.
a wrap,
Yeah.
do the omelet stuff, and then you flip it.
Yeah. I have gone through so many different omelets, variations, cheese omelet, tomato,
Yes,
different
yes.
different stuffings. And my wife likes simple cheese omelet the best.
Okay. There's something called a frittata. It's like an omelet.
Uh-huh.
You should look into it. That's also really nice.
How
Like
do I
I'm an
s-
omelet freak too, so
how
I've
do I spell
branched
it?
off into other omelets.
How do I spell it?
Frittata. I think it's
F R T.
FRIT, FRTATA.
Yeah.
I just put it in the chat. I
Okay.
think that's it. Frittata, Mexican, where you have a base. So let's say, for instance, potato, mashed
That
potato.
is the Spanish omelet.
Yes,
Ah,
yes, really
the
cool.
name was not familiar to me, but I know the Spanish omelet with potato and all. Yeah.
Great. And thanks for sharing your passion. And can we see that our passion, like from what I'm hearing from you two, is teaching, tutoring, and you're aligning your business with that. You just got to get the family and the exercise part, and then you're cool, right? Hamel, you want to go? Hamel is probably going to tell me, I don't have any passion. I just want to work. Go for
Work
it,
is the
Hamel.
passion. Work is the passion.
I mean, I got few. That's why I picked my niche. So,
So what would you say your passion is?
I mean, one of them is like building stuff. And I'm not currently doing it, but I watch other people do it on YouTube, and yeah.
Okay.
And then I
Right.
also got a
So,
funny name from them. I mean,
sorry,
they
you've
give
also
it to
got,
themselves. Like one of that YouTuber gave it that name to other YouTuber, and it's called like Crackhead Engineering. Like they build
nice.
this crazy, dangerous stuff, and I like those.
That's great. So
No, I
you
might.
like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's all.
So basically, you like watching YouTubers, and I guess Twitch. You like to watch these creative people build stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff, crazy dangerous stuff.
Maybe that's something you might want to do, build stuff, or you just like watching it for entertainment purposes.
No, I will probably in the future, but currently my focus is work. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, guys, we all know what the passions are, and we've just brainstormed it. And whenever you're trying to brainstorm something, my recommendation is to go fast, right? As fast as you can. And the reason why we do that is to elude the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain. Because once the thinking brain comes in, it's going to say, well, you can't do that. Why do you think you could do that? So we don't want this thinking critical side to come in when we're just trying to dump everything off on a paper. So anyway, you guys have done that. Basically your passion, you should somehow try to make sure it's incorporated into the business. However, again, passion alone will not make you money unless there's a market. So for instance, one of my passion is I love running with our dog, Minnie. I'm, somebody's passion might be obsessed with colorful diamonds. Somebody's passion may be learning about Gen AI. Somebody's passion may be whatever the heck it is. Reality crime documentaries. I don't know, whatever your passion is. Just like Hamel said, he likes to watch engineers build crazy stuff. And it just lights him up. So that's a passion. Anyway, we've done the passion exercise. You've completed it. Thank you so much and for sharing it. And with your passion, if I can ask all of you, all the things that you've listed, what's the number one passion that you see coming over and over? Number one passion.
I will say well-being, like balanced life.
You want to live a balanced life.
Yeah,
With
that's the most
family.
people. Yeah, that's the most people want to do.
Family.
Yeah.
Health, family, work.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, and these are the triads in life. And actually, Abdul, that's kind of nice that you want to balance the triads of life. Prakash, what is the passion that you see over and over? I mean, I can hear it from you, but you tell me.
Teaching
Teaching,
and talking to young people.
teaching, tutoring, and talking to.
Yeah, talking to, yeah, it's like guiding. And yes, it's like, yeah, it has been a common thread for at least last 20-25 years.
Right.
And I'm running this loss-making business for doing the teaching, tutoring.
And hopefully we're going to turn it into a
we will,
profit.
yeah, it's like in my days when I was doing my uni, I wanted to teach, but there is a problem with me. I had an aversion for money, and I strongly believed money is the root cause of all evil. So I used to go for teaching Bible. Oh, by the way, I'm not a believer. I'm an atheist, or rather agnostic. I should
Agnostic.
say. Yeah, and
By the way, Prakash, anytime someone tells me they're what do you call it, an atheist
yeah,
or agnostic, here's my reply. But you believe in something,
yeah, you could say that.
correct? Can you see that?
What yeah,
A non-belief is a belief.
I'm thinking like, I don't know, and I honestly say I don't know. Agnosticism, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, this is where I traveled through different philosophies like Zen Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, and I like Zen the best. And there was a time when I used to go debating with Christians, and there was a time when yeah, like almost 8 years I used to learn Bible, and maybe one year I learned Zen. 1 year I actually did Sufism
Oh,
and
Sufi,
Sufi
nice.
and
Yeah.
Hinduism for long time. I'm with Hinduism, and I have huge respect for Hinduism, and I memorized Sanskrit textbook Gita. 8 chapters used to be my to be in by heart. And yeah, amazing wisdom. Wisdom is everywhere. Just have to.
Wisdom is everywhere.
Wisdom is everywhere.
Wisdom is everywhere. Yeah. And maybe more spiritual,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So
Okay.
my aversion to money was causing me trouble. It's like
Sorry, say that again about the money.
my aversion, or I was not like what you have written. It was passion, hobby. It was not a business. I should I should make some money to be sustainable.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And what I'm hearing from you is a mindset that money is the root of all evil. I heard that from you. Is that correct?
Yeah. That was my
Yeah.
strong belief.
Yeah. And you know, Prakash, money is just a tool.
Yeah.
It's just a tool. It has no energy unless you give it to it. So if you give the energy that it's a root of all evil, it will elude you. But if you give it the energy that money will allow me to take my business to the next level so I can reach more people, then it's a different energy you're giving that,
Hmm.
right? So it's all how, and that's part of mindset too. It's all how we view business. And sometimes when the business is not doing well, it is a direct reflection of um, the internal struggle that the business owner has. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just something we need to work on. That's all,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Hamel, money is power. Ooh, Hamel, I like that.
Yeah, you can
Hamel
either use
said,
it for good or for your own selfish intent, or be selfless or be whatever. It's just power,
you got
and
it.
you get to choose whatever you do want to do with it.
Absolutely. Money is neutral. No energy, only the energy we put onto it, only the meaning we put onto it. And money, like everything else, if you look at it as bad, or if you do bad with it, well, you know what will follow. And if you look at it as good and do good with it, you know what will follow. So I like to say money is neutral, and the only meaning it has is the meaning we give it. That's it. Okay. Just like cooking eggs, Prakash, that egg could be sweet if I put sugar in it. That egg could be spicy if I put spicy stuff in it. So depending on how we treat the egg will take on that flavor. Same thing with money. Whatever energy we give it, that's exactly what it's going to take on. Guys, thank you so much for doing the passion exercise. And one thing you have to realize is whatever that passion is that you have. And for some people, if they tell me they don't know what their passion is, one thing I tell them is go look at your browser's tabs. Go look at the blogs you've read, the podcasts you've listened to, the YouTube history, your Google history. Just look at it. you're going to see your passion emerging. And sometimes it's hard for us to see ourselves because our eyes look out. And that's why we need other people in our lives to look at us and to say, yeah, I hear your passion is tutoring, is teaching, is being of value, being of service, whatever the heck your passion is, building or watching people build. So that's number 2. We're finished with number 2. Now I know I said 2 hours. I'm probably just going to need a bit more, let's say a half a more hour. Are you guys okay? If you have to jump and bounce off of this, I'm totally cool with it. You guys okay?
Zaida, I have a session starting soon. I need to jump off. But
Okay,
I have put 2 posts in the community. Exercise 1, exercise 2. And if you could pin it to the course, people can post straight after that.
great. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it would be a good idea to keep everything in a post.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for doing that for
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Zaida.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to continue the other 2 with whoever's here.
Okay.
And I'm going to post a recording so you
Okay.
guys can have it.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Prakash. And Zach, you mentioned that money should be in your hand, not in your heart. I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. Well said. Okay, let's go to the next exercise, which is your skill set. And this is where we find the intersection of where our business ideas should come from. It is at that intersection. So I'm actually starting to do TLDRs now for long lessons and long posts. Thanks to a few people who have said to me that, in this day and age, people don't want to read the entire thing. They just want to see the overview. So I'm just going to go through the overview and let your mind just be prepared as to what we're about to cover. So basically, we have to recognize your skills. Your unique abilities will be the major asset in your business. And we need to do some self-reflection. People overlook their skills. So an intentional exercise, actually writing it down, can help you uncover what those skills are, or even asking people what they think your skills are. And normally there's a skill gap, and that's normal, okay? Having a skill gap. So we focus on our strengths first, and then we develop the skills that we need, and or we find out who can do where we're lacking. So it's one or the other. But I will always tell people to focus on their strengths first. There's nothing like focusing on your lesser strength and feeling lesser. We don't want that. The sweet spot. The sweet spot is that juncture, that middle point in the Venn diagram. And that's where the business idea will align with your values, your passion, and your skills. And that is where you have greater success, is that middle point, that juncture. Now, you can skip reading to below. This is part of the TLDR. If your brain can easily fill in the gap, and I know some of you are, or you can download the worksheet, or what I'm going to do is just zoom in and you guys can just draft it out. So the first exercise that I'm going to have you guys do in the skill set is are these worksheets. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of them, and we're going to try to do this as quickly as we possibly can, so I don't keep you guys here long. So the skills inventory. In the previous exercise, we explore filtering our business ideas through the values, the goals, and the passions through that lens. And we're going to dive into the third critical component, which is your skill set. Your skills are actually your superpower. So it's not just the passion, but also the skills that we possess. And if we can leverage, it will set you apart from your competition. Even if the competition is doing the same business as you, your skills will just separate you from them. So it's super important to identify and integrate them into your business plan. And for some people, it's difficult to list their skills as they don't look at themselves objectively or don't value what they do so naturally. And, I'm going to throw out Hamel's name here because there are a lot of things that I see that he does so naturally. but he doesn't see it as a skill. And that is totally normal for a lot of people. Example, I accidentally fell into business life mindset coaching since I never saw myself as a coach. Rather, my clients in my digital marketing business recognized my skills, and many of them asked me to coach them. And again, I didn't know I had that ability until someone and when I saw that a whole bunch of them were asking me to coach them in life and in business, that's when I realized, oh my God, I do have that skill. Yeah, I do. So basically, they saw something in me that I was blind to. And I'm going to tell you the reason why we have these eyes is to look out. Our eyes don't look in. And that's why we need to be around people, because people can look in and can see us more objectively than we can. And I think Abdul mentioned that he recommends people journaling. Absolutely. I highly recommend that too. And journaling gives us insight into what we're thinking. And when we can see what we wrote down, that's when we become aware of what we possess or what we're ruminating on. So what may come naturally to you may not be apparent. And it helps to fill your blind spot if we do the exercise below. And again, I'm coming from the book, Will It Fly? Okay. So the first one that I'll do, and I'll just give you guys a couple minutes. And again, I just want you to write like crazy. Don't even think about it. Don't allow this prefrontal cortex to come in and use logic and tell you, oh, that you don't have that skill. You don't have that. Don't allow that. So I'm going to pull up the first exercise, and let's just take maybe a minute, 3 minutes to do it. And it's your skill set. So let's evaluate your business ideas by asking what marketable skill set you have. And anything you can do is considered a skill set. Even if you think no one is going to pay me for that, just jot it down. So let's do 3 minutes on the timer, or you could use the chat and you can write it if you want. I'm cool with that. So 3 minutes, and I'm going to go off audio and video. Okay, guys, fall back. Abdul, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first, no problem.
Okay.
So I will say mainly the business idea is to ask the customer, what they want to do, and it's aligned with our passion, right? So let's say, for example, you're doing a buy and sell. So you gotta ask them as many questions. Okay, you're here for product A, but in future, what do you want to go for? So he will say, oh, I'm into clothing, or I'm into, some car accessory. So then that's how you can bring more product related to that. So this is how I will do it, and then mark with the skill set and post them.
Okay, that's great. So it's all about buying and selling for you.
Yeah, buy and selling, and then you create the idea around the customer, right? Some customer will say, okay, I want to have screen protector, for example, for phone. Some of them will say, I would like to have shoes. Some of them will say, oh, I would like to have cooking. So then you bring something similar what they want. If there is a high demand, then you go for that.
Great, 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 great. Okay, thank you. And Hamel, you want to go? And then I'll read Zachariah.
No, there isn't much.
Sorry?
Yeah, no, I don't
Did-
have much to say here. No.
Okay, I actually think you have a lot of skill set. Not a lot of people know how to do Notion database. That's a skill set. Okay.
I mean, I
Not a
just
lot of
learned
people.
it. I didn't. I mean,
Right. So you learned it and now you possess it as a skill. And there are a lot of things that you've learned that you are doing, which, and again, a lot of people fall into this, Hamel, where they know how to do it, but they don't value it themselves. But other people will pay for it or value it.
and Notion
So
seems. I mean, it's a simple thing, like small thing. I don't know if it counts as a skill, like
it
Notion
does.
itself.
It does. Hamel, there are people making Notion templates that are crushing it. And that's all they do is they make Notion templates and crush it. And yes, I have bought Notion templates before. So I know it's a business that people are crushing it on. So anything that you are doing, even if you have to learn it, it's a skill set. It's a skill set that other people will pay. Or it's something you know how to do and someone may know how to do it, but don't want to do it and would rather pay for someone else to do it. Like we've discussed. So you got a lot of skills. Give yourself credit. And Zachariah, or if you don't mind me calling you Zach, you said my skill is I understand the student mind, fear, anxiety, learning curve, and I'm able to make them comfortable so they are willing to learn hard subjects in math and science. That's great. That's a good skill. It's a compassionate skill that you have. And I think because you said earlier on that you didn't have good teachers, and by you not having good teachers, you know what's missing and you can provide what's missing. And that's a compassionate part, the understanding part, creating a safe environment. So that's perfect. Also, I'm an expert in all of the high school science and math courses. I went through the trials and tribulations of university studying chemistry, computer science. Most of the time, students don't understand the material because they feel overwhelmed. Once they are comfortable and get out of the fear anxiety zone, they are able to learn and grow. I can teach a subject effectively, step by step. Great. So you have that skill, that ability to take something that's complex and break it down into its simplest component. And there's one thing I used to say as a student, and I actually even told my teachers, mind you, I never got in trouble. But anytime I find that the teacher, and I'll give you just one example, Zach, it was grade 10 math, and a teacher was going through student in a row, so first person, second person, third person. I was third person, close to the wall. Went to the first person and he said to the first person, did you do your homework? Person said no. he reeled them out. I mean, he just belittled them. So that's the first person. Second person said, no, I didn't do it. Again, he did the same thing, just reel the person out, belittle them. Then it was me, my turn. I didn't wait for him to ask. I wasn't going to allow anyone to belittle me. I stood up and I said, sir, it is clear that we didn't understand the material that you taught. So clearly, sir, it is not we who don't understand. It is you who didn't teach it to us properly. And then I sat down. And I'll tell you, I got the greatest respect from him. And he became my friend because I was honest. He didn't teach the subject matter. And I always say that to students, when you don't understand it, it's not your fault. It is because they didn't reach you at your level of learning. Because we all have different levels of learning. So you have an ability. That's a great ability. So thank you for sharing that. We are done with the skill set. And yes, Hamel, you have skills. You are just not being objective enough. And since I know you, I can point out your skill set. So you got some, dude. All right, reflecting on past experiences and jobs. I know we're cutting close for time. So I am just going to ask that these exercises, if you guys can complete it on your own, that would be fantastic. And then we're going to post it. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a look at what Prakash posts and then post the other exercises for you guys to complete it. But you have to reflect on the past experiences, list any jobs you've had, projects you've worked on, and so on. And once you identify like the tasks that you excel at, you enjoy, you like, you dislike, then we can start zoning in on it. You look at your current pattern or any themes to reveal what your core skills are. So I'm just going to blow this up for a minute and, look at, again, you could print this or you can just, take a blank piece of paper, create columns and write down the jobs and other related experiences, describe your role, what you like, what you didn't like. It's very important for us to realize what we like and what we don't like. And what we don't like, we steer away from. Or if what we don't like is a skill that we need to master, then we do something about it. We learn it. But again, like I said, there's front-end people and back-end people. We are not expected to be well-rounded. We are a belong. And if it's something you don't like and don't want to learn, then find someone who knows how to do it. Partner with them, hire them, or learn from them. Okay? So this is very important for us to understand what we like and what we don't like. Another thing is when we don't know what our skill is, your family and friend network can actually help you. This is where we reach out to trusted friends, family, colleagues, and we ask them for their feedback. We ask them, what skill am I good at? And let them tell you. You can easily send a text message and ask, just pick a 3 to 5 people that you know, friends, family, people that you work with, colleagues, and just ask them, what do you think I'm especially good at? And what stands out about me? And they will tell you what you're good at. And again, sometimes because our eyes are pointing out, we don't see inside. And that's why we need other people to look at us and to be objective and to see what our skills are. So that's a little exercise that I normally give people when they don't know what their skill set are. Ask other people. That's why I chimed in and I told Hamel what some of his skills are. And I can know a lot of other skills that I've seen that he's got. And I think I've done that over DM with him. Also, frame it as a project-related request. If you don't want to ask them. So what you can do, if you don't want to tell them, hey guys, what am I good at in your text message or DM, you could frame it as a project-related request. You can easily say, hey, I'm working with a business coach. From your perspective, what are my top 3 skills? Tell me what my top 3 skills are. And people will tell you your top 3 skills. And you will be, if you reach out to 3 to 5 people, you will see a pattern. You will see what your skills are. And for instance, for Hamel, I could see he's got really good organizational skills. Okay. And that's his number 1. And then how we organize by using second brain is amazing. All right, so these exercises basically help us uncover our strengths, and we might need to, it uncovers our strength, the strengths that we naturally overlook, and it reveals a deeper character traits on who we are. And that's why it's extremely important to get a third-party perspective on what you're good at. Again, because we can't see ourselves. We are not that objective. And the next part is filling the skill gap. If you discover that you're missing skills, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just focus on the ones you're good at and adopt what I call a skill transformation mindset, where you get to develop the other skills that are needed. So you start with what you know, your current ability, you build momentum on it, then you learn on demand. I like to call this the JIT, the just in time learning. And trust me, a lot of people do this. A lot of people do this because they have the confidence to do it. I also do it. I do JIT learning. If I need to learn something, I would just in time jump on and learn it. Okay, so never ever think that I am not good at something. Always think there's a skill gap and use the JIT, the just in time learning method, or learn on demand. So you can acquire a new skill when the opportunity arises. For example, if a client requests something unfamiliar, schedule the project and allow time to learn how to do it. And so the one thing I want to tell you is it's a normal part of business, and it's kind of fun when you enjoy learning and learning just on demand. Again, the JIT principle. Continuous growth. Always leverage online learning, workshops, mentorship to expand your skill set. As well, you might consider hiring a coach to fast track your skills. So the one exercise that I like people to go through, and again, just for time, I'm just going to speed run this and have you guys do this on your own. So speed running this, the one thing is for you guys to realize the values and the goals that you have. And we've mentioned it. You've done this already. Write it down. The passions that you have, write it down. The skills that you have, write it down. And right in the middle, if I can annotate this, right in the middle here, annotate, right in the middle here is what we call the sweet spot. So you will be able to see as you write down the values and the goals for yourself, your passion and your skills, you're going to see certain things that are intersecting. This right here is a sweet spot for a business for us to start. Okay. Let me just stop this annotation. Okay, great. So the action step here is for us to list the skills, reflect on past experiences, get feedback from people you trust, fill the skill gap. That is the learn as you go approach. Complete the Venn diagram, organize all the insight, and pinpoint a business idea at the intersection of your value, your passion, and your skills. Validate your idea. We're going to cover that next. Basically, it's ensuring it's practical, it's marketable, it's fulfilling. And later, we're going to learn how to do this and how to get beta clients to validate our business idea. Okay, so basically, it's a synergy between the skills, the passion, and the value, and setting the foundation to build your business, something that you are good at. All right. The last part of this exercise on day one is crafting for the MVP, the minimum viable business, is to craft your elevator speech. That little 30 to 60-second speech as to what you do. Okay. And basically the minimum viable elevator pitch. It's just something that you can just spread out and say to people. So if I were to be in an elevator with someone and I were to say, hey, what do you do? It's a 30 to 60-second spiel as to what you do. So to give you an example, an elevator speech actually is a 30, 60-second, as we discussed. It's a speech that informs your listener about what you do and why it's relevant to them, whether you're trying to sell a product, service, or yourself, or sell yourself for a candidate as a job, or a career. Okay, so it's just a 30 to 60-second little blurb that you say. I think I need to get rid of this annotation. Okay, got it. All right, so if I can ask you guys to go through the 30 to 60 second elevator speech, it's basically quite easy to do. You discuss basically your existing business, your new business idea, and if the business failed, it's not a big deal. So it's a good idea to know where you're starting from. We got to be real. We got to be honest. So for the existing business idea, it's already a business idea. It has passed the MVP, what I call a litmus test, and now we're ready to move ahead. So if your business idea passed the litmus test, great, we're ready to move ahead. Now, if it's a new idea and you found the new idea through doing the exercises, that's great. Let's jump, let's refine it. If your business idea failed the test, that's okay. We still celebrate because now you've saved yourself time and resources of not doing that thing. So all the exercises that we've gone through for the MVP, that is the idea, the values, the goal, the passion, your skill set. If the business idea is not going to fly because no one is doing it, or it's not going to make you money because the audience is wrong, that's okay. At least we know it's something that is not going to fly with us. Okay. So it's the same thing. Abdul's business, if he is thinking about a product that he wants to bring and wants to introduce, if no one is buying it, then it's not a good idea to bring it. Don't waste money. Don't stock up. It's not a good idea. So just to close off on this, the MVP for crafting your elevator speech is basically just finding that little 30-second blurb that you want to tell people what you do. So I'm going to leave that with you for you guys to do later. And I'm just going to wrap up this session by thanking all of you for joining. And the intention of day one basically is to just understand where we're coming from, to understand what we value, what our goals are, what our passions are, to understand our skill set. And in the Venn diagram, to go to that intersection and to realize where that sweet spot is for starting a business. So any questions from all of you? Any questions? Prakash still has his note going. Abdul, any questions about day one? Day two is when we start doing the market research, and we're going to be using AI to help us with the market research. So day two is when we start digging into what we want to do and fleshing it out more.
Mm-hmm.
So any questions about day one? Day one was more of exercise, getting to know who we are and what we want to pursue. Abdul?
Yes, just one question. So just to recap, so getting out of this course is just to build a business properly from scratch and to the end.
Foundation. This
Yeah,
is the foundation.
foundation.
Yeah, this is fun.
So in 5 days, you'll give us the technique and skills how to do that.
Yes. Yes. So the foundation part is we got to know what we want. We got to know what's in our heart. We got to know the value and the goals that we have. If we don't know what the foundation is, then we're just going to be scattering and going all over the place.
Okay.
Without a roadmap.
So then this will end on Tuesday, or do we end this on weekend?
We end this on 3 days. For the 3 days, today, tomorrow, Friday, is going to be what I've created, the lessons that I've created to get the foundation solid. And then days 4 and 5 will be next week, Wednesday and Thursday, which I'll send a link.
Okay, got it.
And that will be what you guys want. So this is part of what I call co-creating this 5-day challenge. So I'm merely giving you guys the foundation to get you up and running. And then days 4 and 5 is what you want to learn, and I will co-create it with you.
Okay, got it.
There is a space between Friday to next Wednesday, and that space is to allow me to start building that information with you. start co-creating it with you. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Understood.
Okay. Great. Great stuff. Amel, any questions about day one?
No.
And Zach, no questions? And Zachariah, any questions? No, thank you. Great. How did you guys find the first day? Because this is the first time that I'm actually delivering this 5-day challenge, and I'm just testing it out. Give me feedback. I'm testing it out. I have my own feedback, but before I tell you what my feedback is, I would like you to tell me what the feedback is. Again, the intention of day one is to just get the foundation right, to understand where you are coming from. Again, what your values are, your goals, your passion, your skills. That's all this day is about. Any feedback from you guys? What would you change? What would you cut? What would you add?
I will not change anything. I think it's good material, and is giving people enough information to get started.
The foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Abdul. Hamel, any changes? You know I'm open.
No, it's fine.
And Zachariah, any changes you would recommend? Very interesting, but I have a question. Do all successful businesses have to be a passion? No, no. All successful businesses don't have to be a passion. It helps. It helps when you're getting tired of the business if you do have a passion and you do have a why, a big why as to why you're doing it. Because as I said earlier, if this body changes every 7 to 9 years, our minds are going to change every 7 to 9 years. You're going to find that you're shifting, you're changing. And it's just how we are designed. So not everything has to be a passion. What I will say is if you can turn your passion into profits, fantastic. If you have a business idea, or if you see that there's a void in the market, a problem in the market that you have the skills to solve, perfect, do it. Sometimes I'm going to say, Zachariah or Zach, I'm going to say that some people just love solving problems, and it's what they're good at. So they look at the market, and when there's a problem, they create a solution and they solve it. And that's their underlying passion, is solving problems. Some people may just do it for the sake of an income, but they have a passion, a side passion, or a hobby that they don't want to monetize on. And that's totally cool. Basically, to answer your question, there is no one right way to do anything. And if I were to say what the right way is what works for you. And it may work for you, but it may not work for someone else. And again, I go back to, what's his name? Shakespeare. And I'm going to take one of his quotes and twist it a little. And one of his quote is, there's no good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. And I'm going to twist it. There's no right or wrong, but thinking makes it so. So the way your thoughts are processing the right and the wrong, or does the business have to be passionate or not? It's basically how your mind is conceiving it. Okay. So to answer that question, I will have to say, do all successful businesses have to be a passion? No, it doesn't. And we've seen a lot of people who've started businesses that were not their passion, but they had the skills to start it. And the money that they brought into the business, they used that to fuel a passion. I'll give you the example of Sam Ovens, who started Consulting Accelerator. That was his first program, online program. And then Consulting Accelerator, his passion changed, and he developed something called Up Level. Then his passion changed, and he developed another program. And then that passion changed, he developed School. Okay, he found hungry market, and he realized that his people need a place to host their training, and he developed something called School. He used the other two, plus he had a mastermind. Okay, plus he had another program called WeTube. So he had all of these and he was using it, the money, to fuel his other passion, which was school. So to answer your question, sometimes we do things because we have the skills and we see that there's a hungry market, but it's not our passion. And what I say to people is, you don't even have to know it's your passion. Even if you can tell me I don't have a passion, it's totally cool. Because what I will tell you is when you jump in and you become the person in the arena, that is, you're working, you're doing something, you're moving forward. As you do, your passion will find you. Okay, just like Sam Ovin's example, your passion will find you. So if you tell me you don't have a passion, my advice is jump in, do it, just do it. And as you're doing, trust me, your passion will knock on the door and say, hey, this is what you're good at. Because you will enjoy a part of what you're good at, and that becomes your passion. Okay, Zach, you said you understand. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you guys so very much. I will see you guys all tomorrow. If there's no other questions, any questions for me? If you ask me what I would change, and if you don't mind, I'm going to throw out what I would change and tell me yes or no. What I would change is day one, like Prakash asked, and he sent me a DM earlier. He said, any homework? What's my homework? And I said, no, I just want to throw it out there. And I want to see how I feel. And I want to feel I want to feel the mood of you guys. And from my perspective, what I would change is I would give you guys all of these sheets ahead of time to complete. So again, what I would change from day one is the people, and again, you all know I don't want to work with more than 6. 6 was my maximum that I wanted to work with. I wanted to work with a small group so I can hear you guys and just go with the flow. Any more than 6, it becomes difficult. So basically, what I would change in this day one is in advance, perhaps 2 days, 3 days in advance, email you or send you the links to download the worksheets. Have you print it and do it, or have you just do it in an exercise book? Okay. What do you guys think of that? Would it help if I were to ask you guys in advance to do the exercises instead of giving you time on the session? Hamel, you got your hand up. What do you think?
Yeah, that would work. But I wanted to say that I think you should add that question as a lesson.
Sorry, say that again.
Like
You think
the question that Zachary asked, that is passion necessary, or what if I don't know my passion, as a lesson. Name it something like, what if I don't have a passion, or what if I don't know my strengths, and then add in what you just answered. I think that would be helpful.
okay, so add in what if I don't know what my passion is, right?
Yeah, my passion and or strengths are something like that.
Okay, what if I don't know my passion?
I think you should remove the what if, like just I don't know what my passion is, and add it in quotes. So
Okay, so you're thinking I should remove the passion?
no. I mean, add it as an extra lesson.
Add it as an extra lesson. What if I don't know what my
Okay.
passion is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that. And the TLDR for that, I know you like TLDRs. The TLDR for that is just quickly look at your history, look at your tabs, look at your so Google history, look at your tabs, look at your YouTube history, look at what you're searching for. We call it keywords. Look at the keywords you're searching for. Those are your passion. When you're conversing with someone, talking to someone, listen to what you're talking about. Listen to what captures you, and you can go on and on and on talking about that subject matter. For instance, you and I can go on and on talking about the education system. Okay. You and I can go on and on talking about Notion, how to set it up, how to organize it. So listen to what you and I could probably go on and on talking about what you saw, what this cool builder did, what they built, and send me a link and share it with me. So look at what you are actually feeding out to the world. That is your hidden passion. And if someone tells me, well, no, equally, I'm doing all of these things and I really don't have a passion, my TLDR for them is keep doing it, keep going, keep, what can I say, engaging in the process. And as you engage in the doing, your passion will find you. Okay. So anyway, that's a TLDR, but I will document it. Thank you for that. So Zachariah said, yes, we'd be more prepared and we will have more time to discuss our answers and ideas with you. Perfect. Abdul said, what the hell is TLDR? Amel, what's a TLDR? Since you've asked me to do TLDRs, what is it?
Really a short summary of the whole lesson.
Too long, didn't read.
Didn't read.
Exactly. Exactly.
Really give me
So
something
Abdul,
shorter. The lesson was too long. So yeah,
yes.
give
So
me a summary.
Abdul, exactly. So Abdul, did you read what Hamel put in the chat? T is to, L long, D didn't, R read. T L D R. Got it?
Got it.
So Abdul, we are in a digital age where, what can I say? Our attention span is waning. It's getting less because of this distraction. We are changing our dopamine receptors where we kind of constantly got to feed this dopamine engine, which is not good. I mean, you need a little, but not too much. Too much is an addiction. That's another lesson on its own. But we are in a day and age, and this is something for you to think about when you're mentoring and coaching and training your students, especially if they're younger than you. They need the TLDRs, and I've been hearing that a lot with the younger generation, the Gen Z, basically. The TLDRs is their summary. They just want to say, scrap it. Just give me the skinny. Just give me the what can I say? Cheat notes. Just give me the cliff notes, whatever the heck you want to call it, the Coles notes. I know in Canada we call it Coles notes, and in the US we call it cliff notes. So just give me the summary. That's all they want is the summary, and then they will figure it out, or they will go and read it if they're interested. We are seeing a lot of that now for videos. And actually, Manos, who just joined, asked me for a Mr. Beast viral PDF. And we had a discussion on that, on TLDRs and why they're important. So you're going to find, henceforth, I'm going to be doing a lot of TLDRs before a lesson, just to give the brief, the overview, the summary, the too long didn't read. Because sometimes that's all people need. I do that a lot for videos. If the video is over, let's say 10 minutes, I may go do a TLDR, and I use Gen AI to help me. So I'm going to be throwing all of that out to you guys hopefully tomorrow when we start using Gen AI to help us with our passion, to help us determine if the market. But today was just a hands-on exercise. And Zach, thank you for telling me that it would be great to give you guys the exercise in advance so you're more prepared. Abdul, what do you think about that idea?
Yeah, it's a good idea. I want same thing.
Great. And Hamel, what do you think?
Yeah, that's also a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, great. So the change that I would make for day one is to give you guys the exercise to do it in advance. And the people who couldn't make it because they're working or time zones, that would be great for me to give it to them. And what I'm also thinking, and I didn't do, Prakash did it though, is before I start a session, I will create a post day one. So before I start day one, create the day one post, tag the people who are attending, and put all the worksheets right there in that post. So you don't have to go through the classroom. You can just go through it on that post. Will that help? If I were to create a post before the session begins, let's say a day or two before, and put all the exercises and maybe some TLDRs just to give you guys the prep in advance. Would that help if I do it in a post?
That will help too. You can do that.
Amel?
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
And Zach, what do you say? Okay, we're gonna yes, so it would help. So thank you, guys. I mean, this is helpful for me, folks, because I've done a lot of training, live training, and I've done a lot of coaching one-on-one. So this feedback that you're giving me is very vital and important for future courses. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Any last questions before we close off? Abdul, any last questions?
No, I think that's it. We covered everything.
Okay, great. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Hamel, any last questions?
No.
See you tomorrow as well. Zach, any last questions? I hope you don't mind me calling you Zach. Zach, any last questions? Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your feedback because you're helping you're helping to shape the future version of the 5-day online business challenge. So thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, 10 a.m. to 12, maybe 1. I'm leaving an extra hour. And what I'll try to do is do a day 2 post, some TLDRs, and the exercises. Okay, just to get your mind, prep for it. So thank you.
Just one
Sorry,
question.
Go ahead.
Just one question for Friday. We go for Juma on 12 o'clock. So that will be. So if we can do like half an hour early on Fridays, that will be better.
Are you okay? I'm gonna ask Prakash. Hopefully you'll be okay because I think 12 is when Prakash tutoring session starts, or he's in a meeting or something like that. 12.
Yeah.
Sorry, 12 my time, maybe 5 his time. So I'm gonna ask Prakash if I can start half an hour earlier. Hamel, is that cool with you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
And Zach, is that cool with you? Okay. Zach, yes, it's cool with you. So I'm gonna send out a notice that we're gonna start half an hour earlier for Friday. Let me ask you guys a question. Would it have been okay if I had started the session at 9 o'clock? Because I know some of you are in other parts of the world. Would 9 o'clock have been okay to start these sessions? 9 to 11 and give us until 12.
That's fine too. 9 to 11 is good too.
Yeah. Zach, I'm in Ontario. I'm in Toronto. There's a lot of snow here, Zach. I mean, I'm serious, like 4 feet of snow piled up.
Yeah, 45 centimeters.
Yes, Zach. 45 centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so that you guys know, Abdul is also in Ontario, in Toronto. Hamel, you want to say where you're from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. So he's in the other side of the world. Actually, no, Hamel is ahead of us by how many hours? 10 hours?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, how about that? Zach, you're in Toronto? I'm here too. Are you in Toronto?
What's the temperature now? If it's snowing, that means it's freezing like hell.
My watch says it's minus 10 degrees. And so basically, minus 10 degrees, minus 10 degrees Celsius.
But aren't you guys freezing to death? Like that's literally like below freezing temperature.
Look, you got Abdul. He's not freezing to death, right, Abdul?
Yeah, I'm not freezing. We have heaters.
Don't you guys go outside?
We have a heater in the car too.
We have a heater, exactly. So Hamel, when Abdul goes driving, he's got a heater in his home, a heater in his car. Wherever he gets to, there's a heater. So we have a lot. We have heaters when we go out. Hamel, we have something called a parka. We wear a heavy coat, a scarf, and some people wear earmuffs if their ears get cold. Some people wear hats. So
I mean, everybody
we
wears that during cold, but that like you,
how,
but
how cold do you
minus
guys
10
get?
degrees Celsius.
Yeah,
Probably 10 degrees Celsius, last 10.
10
And
degrees
that's the
Celsius.
coldest. Like, yeah, that's considered really cold.
Wow. Sometimes, Hamel, we go to minus 40 degrees Celsius with the wind chill factor. So we
I
get
don't know
quite
even if
cold.
refrigerators get that cold. Like,
What's that?
I don't know if refrigerators get that cold. Minus 40 degrees Celsius. It's just like you guys can
True,
just
true.
use the outside as a refrigerator. Like leave your food
Absolutely.
outside in the open and it will freeze
Absolutely.
and stay fresh.
Absolutely. Now, Zach said he's in Toronto. He's in the Brampton area. Oh, Abdul told me. Okay, thanks, Abdul, for telling him to jump on. And I think, Zach, you said your balcony is all snow. You can't open the door. Yeah, Hamel, sometimes that's a situation where we get a lot of snow. And if you're on ground level, some people have difficulty opening their doors. For him, it's the balcony. Sometimes it's the front door for some people. So it's kind of fun being in Canada. So you're in Canada and Kuwait. Oh, you were born in Kuwait, and it's hot in Kuwait. Yeah. True, true.
Qatar, quite.
Yeah, hot there. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
guys, it looks like I should call this quits. Say goodbye, and thank you so much again. And tomorrow we're gonna start. Do you guys want to start at 9 tomorrow?